Hey, welcome back. Got a good one for me today. Okay, I hope it's good for you too, but I know it's going to be good for me. And I'll get into that right after this. Now, I will say, I know I've talked about this channel. Going ahead now, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications because you're going to love this, okay? But here we go with the ice cream I did the other day. I've had a lot of buzz about that, not necessarily in the comments, but people contacting me in other ways on Facebook and things like that. And they're wanting to know about the ice cream. The ice cream's called Proof, P-R-O-O-F. And if you look online, I apologize. It's made in South Carolina and it's only available, it looks like, from their website in North and South Carolina. Now, I know I said in this video production that I would normally only review bourbons that were widely available, relatively not impossible to get. Now, I didn't make that promise about the bonus videos, so I do some local beer and things like that. And I did review a local bourbon here, and I was going to feature them, but I can't get them to contact me back, so we're going to ignore that. It's a decent bourbon, but the Old Nick. And I was only doing that for support local. But the ice cream, apologize, it is delicious. So if you can get it, get it. Request it. If you live in North or South Carolina, Lowe's Foods supposed to carry it. I think they probably carry it in other things too. But today, we're doing barrel proofs right after this. All right, you've heard me say it. I love barrel proofs, cast strength bourbons. I think they're full of flavor, the most flavor you're going to get. And I love the warmth and the ride I get off of them. So with that said, I did a live stream with Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews, and we tried these, and I tried both. And so this, I think, and I've heard, and I'm starting to come to a realization that this may be the best Bookers they ever put out, which is the 2019-03, dubbed the Country Ham version. Fell in love with it. First one I bought, the only one I bought. I am planning on getting another Bookers, though. I will be doing that. The new releases are out. There's different ones. I'm going to pick up more Bookers as we go along. But for now, I'm just enjoying the ride on this one. Now, in that video, I was drinking several things. Today, I want to put these side by side by side. And I want to only these two things right next to each other. So let's get into that. Now, as is typical when I pour two bourbons, I'm not going to pour a glass and set it over there. But I am going to put the Bookers over here in this glass. And I'm going to leave the Bookers over here. And I'm going to bring the Bourbon Bounty logo glass around because I think this is the best deal out there, which is the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. This just happens to be batch B520. And we'll get into the proofs right after I pour these. Hang on just a second. They're very close, very close. No, don't lose the drops. Okay. Now, proofs. Okay, age statements, proofs, all that. This is younger, this is older in the barrel. This is 12 years over here. This is 6 years, 4 months, 2 days. That's very specific, but from what I know, Booker No is supposed to come up with these things, and it's the exact mash bill, exact char, all of this stuff for exact aging and all of that on these Bookers, and they're supposed to be really masterful. Elijah Craig, very, very good for the money. This one, I think I bought this one for around 80 bucks, but they're up 90 now. And so this is going up in price, and I really think they're about to price themselves out. If it goes up much higher than that, I probably won't take a chance. But this one, sub 60 bucks here. Now, prices vary geographically, but you can see currently there's a $30 difference between these two bottles. You can buy a whole bourbon for 30 bucks, a good one, decent one. So at $56 or whatever this was, I know it was 50 something. I think it was 60, either 61 something or 62 something, tax and all. So this is a $60 bourbon, this $90 bourbon. And of course, the higher up the closer you get to 90, the same percent sales tax is going to increase, you know. So you're talking about tipping up in the 90s over here. But let's just say for, kicks and grins, that there's a $30 difference. Is it worth $30 more? Now, we know they cannot color bourbon and still call it a bourbon. So let's look at the color on these. Very similar in color, even though this one's aged 12 years. This one's only aged 6 years, 4 months, and 2 days. Now, what that could be is they had a deeper char on the barrel or whatever, a different char. I don't know. But new American oak, you know. So I'm going to nose the Elijah Craig first. I'm going to nose them back and forth before I take a sip. And again, this is not one you have to really stand back from. Oh, proofs. Forgot about that. Proofs on it. This one is the Booker's 62.35%. That's 124.7 proof. Elijah Craig comes in at a whopping 127.2 proof, which is 63.6%. So 63.6, 62.35. They are knocking on each other's door right there in proof. Elijah Craig a little bit higher, right? And it has to be sub 130 to be called a bourbon. So, and again, I haven't looked that up. I need to look that up. Is it 130 or less, or is it less than 130? I'll have to look it up. So if it could be 130, I would love to try 130, but you know, 129s, all that. But to be safe, you know, these are there. Now, whew, that's good. Now, the barrel proof means this is what you get. It's coming straight out the barrel. There's no water mixed in. There's no decrease of proofing. This is the way they were distilled, both of them. So now let's start giving those. Okay. So you're getting into some cherries here. I'm getting some of the, it's almost like a Dr. Peppery thing because there's other spices in there with it. But I can still get the vanilla, you know, off of it like a good, you know, cherry cola type thing. But there's some good dark notes in there. Now let's do the Booker's. All right, it's still, you're down in that depth, but there's more wood notes, I think, and that's surprising to me that I'm picking up more wood notes out of the Booker's because the Elijah Craig was in the barrel longer, and that just baffles me. But I mean, but there's a brighter note in the Elijah Craig, and there's a smooth darkness to the Booker's. Now, when I say that, I am only speaking of the 2019-03 Country Ham. I'm not speaking to any of the other Bookers. The one I have right here. Yeah, there's on the nose, it's creamier, darker, like a deep caramel into molasses type thing. And over here, it's staying up above that a little bit on the, like I said, it reminds me of like a cherry cola, Dr. Peppery thing with other spices in it. And I also don't know the mash bills on these offhand. And so I don't know how much rye or whatever, and that's where some of the spice notes come from. I'm going to taste the Elijah Craig first, but I'm not going to give too many notes off that first sip. The nose came through very strong with the cherry. Good sweet notes in this. Now, regular Elijah Craig is also pretty sweet. But it holds the sweetness. But I can tell you this drink's a lot darker than regular Elijah Craig. Very worth the extra money. Let that coat all around. Let's check some legs on these. The legs are pretty strong over here. On both of these, I think they're going to be really similar. Really, really good warmth, good finish on it. A little tongue stench, and I remember that from the live stream. It is giving me some burn across the tongue, but not enough to mask the notes. I can still pick up everything. It's not like putting PGA in your mouth or anything. All right, with that, and I'm not going to do water in between them either. I'm started over here. I'm coming over here. There is, without rinsing out, without doing the water in between, there is more what I would call Christmassy spice. You know, your all spicy type, cinnamony stuff going on in the Bookers over the Elijah Craig. But there's also this underlying figgy pudding thing going on. You know, there's some deep notes over here with this Bookers, and it surprises me, and that has to do with the mash bill, because 6 years, 4 months, 2 days versus 12 years. Wow, how did they get that out of that young? And I'm not saying that's super young. 2 and 4 years, that's pretty young. Some good leathers, tobacco. Really loving this one. A lot of notes coming out of it. So let me take a couple of swallows, and I'm going to go back and try this one again on top of this to see what I get. Yep, that's floating. I would say the best way to explain it is Booker's goes deep, and Elijah Craig dips down, but it floats. It's like hovering right over the Bookers. It didn't dig through it. Both of them, fantastic barrel proofs. Both of them. Now, to the point of why I was doing them this way, is Booker's worth a whole bourbon more than Elijah Craig? My answer for the 2019-03 is yes. I think this bourbon, to me, man, only at $30 more. Any more than that, and really, I don't even know if it's worth the whole 30. I'm 25 more. But if you're an aficionado and you're really wanting to dig out those deepest, best notes you can, you really need to try the Bookers. But I'm guarantee you I'm going to buy more bottles of this than I am of this. And I'm going to drink a lot more of this than I am of this. And I'm going to enjoy every drop of it because it is fantastic. So just because my opinion is, and really it's my opinion, that one bourbon is slightly better than another, even at a specific dollar point, doesn't mean this bourbon's not good. It doesn't mean this bourbon's not great. It just means I think this particular one edged it just a little bit. And if I didn't know the price, this would be the clear winner. But that price, forgive the pun, makes it hard to swallow. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell down there for notifications. Share me out, and I promise I'll keep bringing you these videos.